Welcome to Lapis Moon Tarot. I am clearing my space, only inviting the energies of love and above. This will be a general reading, so please take what resonates and leave the rest. I am leaving it wide open for messages that are for your highest and greatest good. So each pile will have a different message, and it will be based on whatever the astro die on the pile is showcasing. So if you are drawn to pile number 1, you've got either the 12th house. 12 could also mean 12 months from now, so a year from now, or it could mean the month of December. So if any of those things are significant to you, 12 could also be your birthday. I'm really leaning towards a year from now. So messages for a year from now for pile number 1. Pile number 2, we've got the sign of Libra. So this is coming up for me as the 7th house of partnerships. This is partnerships within a romantic relationship or family. Could also mean your home. The home is coming up for me here. It could also mean like we are in the South Node is in Libra right now. So a lot of us are experiencing changes in the way we view our relationships. And this doesn't necessarily mean just for Libras. You could have Libra in your top 3. Your partner could have Libra in their top 3. You could have your South Node there right now. You could have Venus or Jupiter there right now. So something to do with relationships that are close to you. These are people that you are dealing with on an almost daily basis and looking for balance there, like re-examining relationships. Pile number 3, we've got the South Node. So that's really interesting. So this is about your root, like where do you come from? What is the programming, I want to say? Not even programming, it's more like what is the blueprint you came to this life with, right? So like the overarching themes of your life, the archetype you might be. So it could be relating straight to where your South Node is in your chart. It could be how you relate with the world, how you perceive the world, and also I'm going to base it on how you're going to grow towards your North Node, because that is usually the goal, right? So when we're talking about South Nodes and North Nodes in the birth chart, we want to go from where you're starting, what is your blueprint, what are your gifts, your perceptions, your abilities, your viewpoint, and then how do you go towards the North Node on your chart, so the opposite side, right? So there's that growth, there's that stepping out of your comfort zone, there's that almost like purpose that you came to this world with, right? So that should be really interesting too. I got 3 piles here. Take a deep, long breath and choose your pile. When you've made your choice, the timestamp for your reading will be in the description and in the first comment. I'll get started with pile number 1. Pile number 1, if you chose the number 12, so a year from now, the month of December, 12 is your birth date. This will be your reading. I'm really leaning towards a year from now for the majority of you, but again, it could be as fast as the month of December. So let's take a quick look and see the pre-shuffled cards. Okay. Wow. Oh my God. I love that growth and Jupiter came through together. So we've got Parvati with devotion, number 42. Jupiter with abundance, number 23. Surrender to the sweetness, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life, and growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. That is so beautiful. I feel like you're stepping into ease. Like you're someone who perhaps works like really hard, like you have goals, you get it done, you grind hard, right? And you're stepping into a time of reward for all your hard work, a time of reward for your discipline. And it's like calling out to not overlook it, to not feel like or get stuck in this state of grind and hustle and always on the move, like to slow down and enjoy the pleasures of life. It could be also a partnership coming towards you with the feminine and masculine coming through on this card. And I love all this water, like the emotional connection, the feminine energy coming through with, of course, Venus. So taking pleasure in life, appreciating beauty in your life, luxury, whatever that's defined as for you, and just basking in the abundance. And I love that the card is giving fall vibes, right? With this pumpkin and just the coloring of it as well. So it could be like fall is the precursor to this abundance. Like you make some decisions that are really in line with your abundance, with your growth in fall, and then reap the rewards either in December or by next fall. It's very like harvest time. I love that. Yeah, it feels like fall is really in line here for you. And even like the coloring on the growth, this yellow with the solar plexus, very much manifesting, very much attracting what you are, like it's your power. It's like really lit up, the solar plexus. And then you've got the beautiful purple coming through here with the third eye, like not only expanding yourself in the material world, but also in the spiritual world, making a lot of connections between the two of them, like how your mindset, your vision, your intuition also feeds how you grow in the physical, how you attract opportunities for growth, how you appreciate things and then watch those things grow. Devotion is beautiful here. 42. This really feels like your practice has changed, has evolved. You know, it's like that practice of maybe that appreciation really is the fuel for you. Like you finally figured out what works in your manifestation, in your happiness, in bringing joy and opportunities your way. It could be like a gratitude practice because again, you are surrendering to the sweetness. So your focus is on what's going right in your life. Like what can you appreciate in this moment? What brings you comfort and love and what feels luxurious? And it doesn't have to mean, you know, living the high life. Like it could be as something as simple as a really beautiful cozy blanket with your favorite drink in front of a fireplace or with a close friend. Like what does luxury feel to you? You know, maybe wearing really nice comfortable clothes that are well made, not necessarily designer, but something that feels really comfortable and soft against your skin. You know, I'm almost getting like bamboo, like ultra soft, like pajamas. Like, you know, it doesn't have to feel like, oh, you have to spend $1 million to feel like it's luxury. It's just those little things, right? Like a really comfortable blanket, like just feeling like everything feels good against your skin. Everything's pleasing to the eye. You know, it's like colors that you really love. It's textures that feel really great. It, you know, maybe you go through a house cleaning this fall and you everything just smells nice, everything's clean, everything's in its place, like you appreciate how much beauty you have in your own space already. Yeah, it's this gratitude practice that really kind of propels this abundance and growth towards you. And there's something to that, you know, it does affect our mindset. The more we focus on gratitude, the less we put out negativity. And not to say that, you know, this isn't like toxic positivity where you're only looking for the good and you ignore all the bad, but the less negative thoughts you have in the day, the better you're off. And so it's not so much about only trying to think positively and look at everything like with, you know, the best optimistic eye, because sometimes that feels fake and then it's not authentic. It's more about turning your focus so you're not thinking so negatively about everything. So if you're waking up or if you know, are going through your day and you're just so appreciative of like that fall crisp air, you know, when you step outside, it's not muggy and humid anymore, summer is done kind of thing, or appreciating the colors, the turnings of the leaves, right? Maybe you're planning an activity with family or children, you know, especially because they bring such natural joy. So not necessarily your own, you could have friends with kids, you could have nieces and nephews, I mean, whatever, however it fits in your life, right? And you go to a pumpkin patch or you go picking apples or whatever it is, that appreciation of the bounty of the world, the bounty there is out there, the harvest, how much nature takes care of us, how much we can appreciate in each season, and especially the season of harvest. And then, like, you draw that energy to you. So it's not necessarily toxic positive thinking, it's just not giving yourself the time to focus on what might be going wrong. You just move your attention towards more things you're grateful for. It's like rewiring the brain. Okay, I think I've talked that to death, so I'm going to pick 5 cards. We're going to clarify this message. It does really feel like the fall is the main component here. Venus was in retrograde for a good part of the summer, so it has gone direct, and that could have made a big impact for you. That appreciation of beauty, love, joy around you, pleasure. Group number 1. We've got Page of Wands in the reverse. Okay. Ten of Swords. Okay. We got 3 more. The High Priestess. Yeah, I saw that. Third Eye. The Hanged Man in the reverse, though. One last one. Oh, there's 2 cards. I only take 1 at a time, so we'll just reshuffle. Six of Cups in the reverse. Okay. All right, this is a lot, and it's really interesting. Okay, so, yeah. Wow, okay, so Page of Wands in the reverse tells me that you were kind of on this grind. Like maybe you were just working for the sake of just achieving it, getting it done day by day, grind, after grind, and there wasn't any passion in it anymore for you. Like this isn't the work that you want to do. This is almost like a stepping stone period for you. But I think what it's calling out in the reverse here, it's about keeping that fire that is within you alive, even through the stepping stone period. And so you're not necessarily getting your fulfillment from the work that you're doing. Okay, so let's just say like right now you're just doing a job because you know that it will lead to success somewhere else, or you're going through schooling because it'll lead to success with something else, right? So it's a stepping stone. Appreciating that this is like, the ship that's carrying you to the shore where you want to be is part of it. So again, with that gratitude practice, but also finding fulfillment and joy and pleasure from other things in your life while you're dealing with this. So it's not kind of like, so monotonous where you're waking up every morning, going to work, and it's just the same routine over and over again. And you're no longer finding beauty in the life, beauty in the world, no longer finding things that like light you up or make you happy or bring you joy, right? So I see that coming to an end. 10 of Swords, right? Ending, finale, closure, right? So it's like you've come to this conclusion yourself. And swords are all about mental abilities, mental acuity, intellect. So it's like you've kind of come to this reasoning, I want to say, about your life on your own. And so you're like, okay, well, this isn't working. This way of living day by day, routine, same thing every day, and not feeling joy and happiness isn't working for me. So you've kind of closed that chapter, which is really great. Kind of love that for you. And when we close a chapter, we open a new one, right? So with opening a new one, I love that you're kind of stepping into your feminine energy. So that Venus makes a lot of sense here. This growth card, the colors on the growth card with the third eye coming through makes a lot of sense here. It's like trusting your intuition, trusting that you can attract what you want. High Priestess is feminine energy. She doesn't hustle, she attracts, right? So she is aware of her worth and aware that she can get what she wants without having to grind, I want to say like mindlessly or with no intention. Like she will work for what she wants, but she'll do it from a place of wisdom, right? It's like understanding, is it worth it to pursue a certain path? and then reaping the benefits of that inner wisdom, that inner knowing, that intuition that tells her like, yes, this is absolutely worth my time. I will reap the rewards of this. You know, I feel appreciated where I am. I feel fulfilled, but by what I'm doing. There's so many layers to this. This is, you know, beautiful major arcana energy coming through. Yeah, I really love that card. It feels like, yeah, you're just like kind of awakening to your spirituality and your spiritual abilities. So that devotion, that meditative practice, that gratitude practice really ties in with this. The Hanged Man and the Six of Cups in the reverse, I see them like as a combo. So here's how I see this. There's like a sacrifice that needs to be done here. And I feel like it's the sacrifice of your old self. Because the Six of Cups in the reverse to me feels like, stop looking backwards. Stop looking from where you came from or what you thought your life was going to be or what plans you had originally made. It's time to look forward. It's time for the future, right? Because in the upright, this card is nostalgia. It says childhood on here. It's cups energy, so it's emotional, but it's almost like getting too tied to the past is holding you back because it's not allowing you to grow or be in the mindset that you need to be in for the next leg of your life, the next leg of this journey that you're on. And so you're kind of just in this pause, figuring it out. And I'm not going to push you one way or another. I think take your time, you know, figuring this out, right? Reconciliation. I like that. It's almost like a reconciliation with yourself to realize like, okay, so these parts of where I was functioning from a almost like a mode where I had to always be grinding, always working hard, always trying to go towards my goals and not appreciating my life, not appreciating the beauty that's already around me, not taking time for pleasure, for love, for beauty. That wasn't really getting me anywhere. I was feeling unfulfilled, right? So I made the intellectual decision not to do that anymore, which is beautiful. But there's almost like this emotional component to it now that you're working through, like kind of letting go of the person who you used to be in order to be that other version of yourself, that version of yourself that kind of gets it all, right? And you deserve all. You deserve to be intellectually fulfilled, emotionally fulfilled, spiritually fulfilled. These are all facets of you. And it could be that you were very much, you know, on the fast track or whatever, the corporate track, whatever you were doing, you were successful at. It was great. You'll see reward for it, but you're finding like you need more. You're going to bring more love and pleasure and joy and beauty into your life too. And you're just kind of in this like reconciliation period, like what's the right balance for me? Like what do I need to do for this to work out, right? Nothing wrong with that. This is really lovely. So I think in the fall, you might even just find like different outlets of how to be more fulfilled in your day-to-day. Like maybe you're someone who used to just work and then go home, watch TV and go to bed and like do that routine over and over again. You're going to connect with things that put you out of your comfort zone. So maybe you'll join like an art class or take a photography class or a cooking class or something like that. Like something that gives you an outlet that's a little bit more artistic and then lets you connect with new people, new ideas, and then, you know, beautify your space, nourish yourself, nurture yourself. Yeah, I love that. We've got happy, happy in the reverse. Let me read that from the book. Number 26. So the essential meaning is joy and contentment, a sense of fulfillment, a feeling that all is well. Let's see what the protection message is. Lighten up, because this is the time to be ridiculous and silly. See the world through the eyes of a clown and don't take yourself or any situation right now too seriously. Have fun, be playful, and make laughter the order of the day. You'll be surprised by how everything just seems to fall into place when humor leads the way. Being happy and lighthearted is a wonderful icebreaker. Life is meant for play as well as work, for laughter as well as tears, for celebration as well as focus. Spirit wants to sparkle through you today. Smile and enjoy each breath and each moment. Miracles lie in the silly things today. Yeah, that pretty much sums up my whole reading to you. I love that. It's just, yeah, allow yourself to be silly. It's okay. It's okay to let go of that old person that was only on the serious side, only working all the time. Be silly. And that's why I feel like children was coming up for me. Like they're so in tune with that side of themselves. Like no fear of judgment yet, right? Like society hasn't tainted them yet. So you're able to be yourself, free, joyous, feel all your feelings, be silly, right? Find everything funny, find everything wondrous through the eyes of a child. So if you are able to spend time with a child, I would really highly recommend that. I love that for you. And hold that card up so you can see it. Yeah, really nice. Okay, well, that's what I have for you. I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you on my next one. Group number two, if you chose or were drawn to Libra, this will be your reading. So you could be a Libra, you could have it in your top three, you could have Venus or Jupiter in Libra. I don't know why that's, yeah, so it really feels like relationship and home to me. When I look at this card, it could be your partner sign, but not necessarily. We all have Libra in our charts. So let's see what comes up here. Radical acceptance, fourth house of the home, earth, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. Interesting. Surrender, I can release my need to control, and then security. Okay. Okay. I think you have one extra card than group number one did. I don't know why I did that, but okay. Looks like you needed it with the security. So much is coming through here. Root chakra is like forefront for me because the security and the surrender with this red very much feels like you need to feel safe in your space, in your home. And the fourth house of home coming through in the reverse feels like there's something out of balance. And as a Libra or as someone who, let's just say, like needs that harmony, wants that balance within the home, relationships are really important to you, like close family ties, partnership, maybe even relationship with children. This is really throwing off everything for you. And so there's two stories here, right? One is to feel secure, but the other part of that, needing to feel secure, is having almost this need to control everything, which then causes more issues in the home because, you know, we're all our own individual persons. We all have our own archetypes, our own characters, our own nature and purpose in this life. And so it could be that from a need to feel secure in your relationships and a need to keep all your loved ones safe, you're almost I'm saying this in the most gentle way possible, but it's like you're almost suffocating the ones you love, and like you don't know how to balance it, and it's causing disagreements, it's causing unnecessary hurt and pain with your loved ones. And I think they get it. Like I know they know that you love them and it's from a place of goodness, it's from a place of genuine love and care. But how do I put that? You can't exercise your own will on another being that has free will. Like we're all here born with free will. We all have our own sovereignty and autonomy. And it's a disservice to try to control that in another person. So this could be you doing this out of like extreme care for someone else or someone else trying to do that to you, right? And so, and again, like you, the root cause of it is very clear. It's like needing security, wanting to feel safe, wanting to feel rooted and grounded in that home. And it could be there's like a lot of emotional work required by the partner to support you or you to support the partner in the situation because they kind of always need to be this, you know, reassured, right? So the radical acceptance, I love that card. It's really cool. I think Freya is a Viking reference here. I feel it was a warrior and fierce. So, and all this green is like very heart chakra to me. It's like you can be an extremely loving, loyal, nurturing person towards your loved ones without the need to always be nurturing and always having to take care of them or take care of the situation so that they're never harmed or they never have any distress or they never go through difficulties, because that's not actually loving and helping them. You're doing them a disservice because then they don't build resilience. They don't know how to problem solve for themselves. So this could feel like a mother-child relationship, but not necessarily. It could be partnerships as well. There could be issues with codependency, one partner relying on the other for all the emotional support, to do all the emotional work. That's exhausting, right? Exhausting, and it doesn't actually fulfill the sense of security the way that you think it would, right? Now this card I kind of love. I almost feel like when people meet you, they always say like, "Oh, you're like an angel on earth. Like you're such an earth angel. You're so kind. Like where did you come from?" Like you give off that type of energy, and it's really really lovely. It's so light, like very feminine energy, very in tune with your feminine energy. And I can see how when you are so in your feminine, and this has nothing to do with gender, this has to do with the energy within you, right? And it's like almost like a polarity, right? So when you are so in your feminine, you're looking for a partner that's very much in their masculine to balance out the home, right? Harmony. But this feels like instead of doing that, like there's some hurt in the feminine in the household and there's some hurt in the masculine in the household. And so instead of complementing each other from like an awakened state of femininity and masculinity, it's causing discord, it's causing misunderstandings, it's causing hurt. The masculines getting hurt, their ego is harmed every time you try to approach a topic where you want connection, you want emotional connection with them, you want emotional growth with them. And then they feel like it's an attack, like they're not providing for you. Or when the masculine is wanting some independence or I don't know, exerting some type of like wanting to lead the family a certain direction or making decisions in a certain way, but you don't trust them. So it makes you feel really unsafe. How to balance that, right? It feels like communication is really key here because I don't think anyone is one way or another all the time. Like there's also a balance that's required within between the masculine and the feminine in order to attract a like-minded partner, in order to heal together. And I want to say one thing too, is that I feel like with relationships, I mean, they are work, but as long as the partner and yourself are willing to recognize and then accept and then take responsibility, like there's always hope, right? There's always a chance for that growth. So it starts with yourself first and foremost. And I feel like that's maybe part of why you watch like tarot. Like, I don't know, like you might be someone who's really like into, you'll watch a lot of like relationship advice on tarot readings. Like it really like draws you. Um, because it just feels like it gets to the root of the problem. Like you want someone to tell you what to do or suggest a plan for you. But that's not how tarot works. It's meant to be a tool of recognizing a situation, and then the solution is up to you, right? Like that openness, that radical acceptance of a situation of, if we're going to be in this relationship, like I see you as how you are, not how I want you to be, not how, I imagine it or have illusions of it or whatever. And same with myself. I'm open and honest about all my good traits and all my bad traits. Like let's have an open, frank conversation. And then if needed, like let's open that up to perhaps advice from a third party that's qualified, right? Um, yeah, because I do see like this need to bolster the root chakra, this need to control situations so you're not surprised, so you're not hurt, right? But it starts with you and your own radical acceptance of the traits that you have and why you act the way you do and what's the root of that and then how do you heal that. All of that is like self work. And then you come to the relationship and you do, partnership work, right? That's a lot. It's heavy. Um, it just, I guess really feel like it starts with you and your own heart. Like even the Libra is green, like this card is green. Like it just feels like healing your own heart first. It will give you a lot of clarity. And I'm no professional, so please take this advice only if it, resonates. And of course, you have free will to act on this information however you see fit. Seven of Swords in the reverse. Ace of Pentacles in the upright. We're going to get 3 more cards. 10 of Cups, beautiful. 5 of Wands. One last card. Group number 2. The Mother Star, I love that. Okay. All right, my dear. 7 of Swords in the reverse. I feel like in the past you had been in relationships where you were left out in the cold, perhaps even lied to and betrayed, because this is very sneaky energy. Someone was dangling relationship goals in front of you, like, oh, just stand by me a little longer and then we'll, get married and the white picket fence and all the ways. Like they knew how to dangle a carrot in front of you, and you felt very manipulated in a relationship that you thought was going somewhere, and this person was just not a good person, right? And so it's important to heal through that and also not bring in that archetype of a person or a manipulative person and drop it into this current relationship, right? Because they are not the same people. But I can see why that control is now such a need for you, because you couldn't even trust your own thoughts around this person. Like they might have gaslit you. They might have really like worked to chip away at your self-confidence, at your self-worth. But I do feel like that's in the past because you had a new beginning. And this feels like you might have met this current relationship at a new job. Like maybe you guys are coworkers, maybe they're the person who hired you or uh, recommended you for the position. Like maybe you guys knew each other from school even. I love that. So it does really feel like it's tied to how you make your living, how you met this person. 10 of Cups, prosperity, joy, family, contentment, beautiful completion card. And I love how you went from like a beginning card to a 10 of completion card. I see you with kids. You know what's interesting is I don't see a male figure in this card. I see you and children. That could be very like literal, where it is where you found your joy and contentment is with being a mother or being a father or a parent. And that's like your ultimate fulfillment. That's interesting. I've never seen a card, yeah, not show two partners in a family card. Interesting. And so it could, it could also mean that you're not a traditional family. Like you're not the traditional definition. Maybe, this is a blended family. Maybe you've adopted your children. Like, not that that's not traditional, but you know what I mean? Like in the sense that this, there's something unconventional about your family that you're really chill about it for yourself. It works for you guys, and it brings you a lot of happiness. And I love that. Yeah, something unconventional. But I think like what this is, the tarot is kind of giving you like a little bit of a warning about is like, again, don't compare it to what it was in the past or to what other people are doing, like what other families look like, even like online. Like I wonder if like you spend time trying to figure out like, or following other influencers and how they raise their kids, or upkeep their homes, or their relationship advice, or whatever it might be, and then you compare that to what you have at home, and it just kind of brings you unhappiness. But like, I think you're realizing like how fake those accounts can be sometimes, how they only show certain aspects of parenting and relationships and not others. And so, like, don't do that comparison game because it brings you back to a dark place where you remember the hurts of the past and then you kind of almost project that onto your current relationship when it's not that at all. Like, there's no need to compare or compete. I love the Mother Star that's come through here. This is very unique to this deck. And it says yes. It feels like very manifestation energy, like very powerful energy, very feminine energy. I'm going to actually read that one from the book because it's so unique to this deck. The Mother Star. The path that has led you to where you are today has been full of twists and turns. There may have been many times when you doubted yourself and lost faith in your guides. The Mother Star's appearance means you are coming to a place now where you can look back and see that every setback served as a purpose and every failure taught you much needed lessons. The strength, courage, and character you've gained along the way have made you into a unique and resilient person. It's time to step up and embody your full potential. The Mother Star holds up a cup and a sword. She wears a pentacle around her neck and is flanked by wands. Her journey and soul exploration connect her in a balanced way to each suit of the minor arcana. I love that you got Libra and it's all talking about balance. This is so cool. Um, Sorry, let me just reread that. Her journey and soul exploration connect her in a balanced way to each suit of the minor arcana, and if she appears in a reading where you have a specific yes or no question, she represents a resounding yes. Her guide, the gentle three-eyed winged tiger, is also here to offer you assistance, vision, and strength as you embark on this new chapter of transformation. And the quote underneath that is from Ernest Hemingway: live the full life of the mind, exhilarated by new ideas, intoxicated by the romance of the unusual. I was getting that. Like, you're not a conventional family. There's something different about you. And it's very unique and it's beautiful and it's fulfilling. And I love that for you. So, like, maybe it causes you to feel sometimes insecure in how you're rooted or in your home because it's so unconventional. But this radical acceptance, this understanding that you are uniquely you, your situation is uniquely yours, and doesn't need to be compared to anybody else, it's going to go really far in helping you feel safe and secure within the relationship and the family dynamic. And I love that. And the balance, yeah, there's like an equilibrium between the heart and the mind, between passion, between intellect, right? So all of what the different minor arcana objects represent. And I love this transformation for you. Let's do one final parting message. I'm going to get you a message from the Herbal Astrology Oracle. I love this deck. On perhaps some healing advice, some perspectives, some different ways to look at the situation. Group number 2, this very unique relationship and family home life they have. What is the advice? Shape-shifting. Mitraginia, probably mispronouncing that. Number 34 goes to 7, very spiritual number. Kind of get that with these spiritual kind of beings flying above. Dragonfly, very transformative. We've got Saturn and we've got Neptune, very dreamy, but it's almost like a disciplined dreaminess. Okay, let's get the guidance. The balanced side. Wow, I love that balance has come through again. Very Libra energy. Loving this reading for you. The balanced side of Mitraginia represents the ability to shapeshift and adapt across realities. Like the dragonfly, Mitraginia grants us the power to break through the illusionary facade we accept as reality, providing us the freedom from pain in order to break through limiting illusions. Dragonfly, like Mitraginia, helps us initiate subconscious healing from the trauma experienced from endless cycles of pain and suffering. Dragonfly medicine invites us to seek out the parts of our habits that have gone unchanged, unnoticed, and stagnant. Ask yourself, have I tended to the changes I've been wanting to make? Don't get lost in the labyrinth of self-doubt. Break free from elusive belief systems that hold back your transformation. That's really beautiful and very powerful. I do see healing coming for you. Saw that with the mother star with balance as well. Like, bask in the fact that you have this beautiful 10 of cups that has come through here, and this radical acceptance of who you are, what your family is, who you represent within that family dynamic. I think that will all be very healing for you. I love this reading. If it's resonated, please give me a like, send me a comment, and I'll hope to see you on my next one. Group number 3, if you chose the South Node, so talking about what traits you came into this life with, what abilities, what talents, what perception you have of life, you know, your archetype, and how we can move that towards your North Node, towards growth, if necessary. We'll see what the cards say. Okay. So, we have Lustre, New Beginnings, probably pronouncing that wrong. Number 13, we'll grab that from the book. We've got the 12th house of introspection, a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision, acceptance. I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change, and relaxation. Okay. Okay. There's a lot. I almost feel like the 12th house is very lit up for you. You could be Pisces, but not necessarily. Very deep feeling, deep thinking, dreamy. Maybe this is what we're talking about, where we're talking about having someone who goes deep into meditation. You have this vision for your life, for the world. You feel things deeply. Maybe you're really into causes for human rights or climate change or things of that nature. Like, you don't understand why there's such a lack of empathy in the human race for one another. And so there's this like need of urgency almost, that you want everyone to kind of awaken so that we can bring in this new earth and to revolutionize or have like a toppling of systems and ways of being and ways of living that are so harmful to people and to the environment, to animals, all of that. Like, I just see very much holding vision, holding space. You could be a light worker. You could be someone that's very healing to be around, um, an activist, a healer. Let's get you this one from the book. Number 13. In the alignment, so it's in the reverse. Look to the potential hidden in promising connections and opportunities. The difficulty arises when you think you already know how something will go. You might do something prematurely or miss an amazing experience that's right in front of you because you're looking in another direction. The real lesson is not in whether something works out, but in how you manage your curiosity so you can experience something new. Life is for learning. Right now, your alignment task is to be with what is, which is perfect as it is. Look at the lessons in your life and how they are repeating. You will find that when you come to understand them, you'll know why your current situation happened. Everything has a purpose for a new life. Even disappointments can turn into miracles. Trust that the goddess of the dawn, Eostre, butchered that one, sorry, will bring light and hope in your heart for a good cause. Even if it's different from what you expect, it's always beautiful. I feel that there's almost like a need to have your visions come through, or your viewpoints, or your your visions come through exactly as how you see them, and it's hard for you to accept things that you cannot change, or if people are too slow to react, or to act on your idealism, let's say your viewpoint, or they don't share it, or they may act like in a way that you feel is selfish or self-serving, and it really rubs you the wrong way. And so I think the overall theme or the message is that you are exactly where you are meant to be and where you can do the most impact and the most good and the most change and healing. even if you don't feel that way, even if you feel like the change is too slow or people aren't catching up to you or whatever, like the situation is exactly as needed. And so you don't need to control the outcome, the speed of it, how it comes about. Like, give yourself rest from that. Like, take that burden off your shoulders. You are doing what you are meant to be doing here. You could be someone, because of this 12th house, like you're really spiritually advanced, right? Like you're someone, and not to rank people spiritually because that's not nice, but I mean it from the sense that like you're really well aligned. Like you've done a lot of work. Your meditation is probably on point. Your prayer work, your rituals, like however you believe in spirituality or believe in God, your practice is on point. Your belief system is on point. Like you're not lost when it comes to figuring out your purpose in this life. Like you know who you are. It's just very like mature, I should say, not advanced, mature. But I can see how that can also feel like, why is not everyone caught up to where I am? And why are we not making the changes as quickly as they need to be done? So like take that pressure off. Like be gentle with yourself. You know, the way that you have grace for others, like have that same grace on yourself. It's not because of any shortcomings that you have that things are not changing as quickly as possible, or opportunities are not coming the way that you envision them to come, or your work doesn't have as much impact as you thought it would. Like it's like it says, like it's all for a reason. Knight of Wands in the reverse. Yeah. You have this flow, fire, and intuition. King of Wands in the upright. Beautiful. Six of Swords in the reverse. Feeling stuck. Yep. Page of Pentacles in the reverse. One last one. Ace of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, it's like blocking. You're blocking those opportunities or missing them because you're so held on how you think it should work out, how you think your vision should play out, what the opportunity will look like, that you're missing what the universe, God, is bringing into your life. This Knight of Wands in the reverse, like very stagnant, but also like rigid. So not following your passions, you know, like it's like maybe something grabs your attention, maybe you're lit up by something, but because it didn't fit your original plan, it's really hard for you to switch modes and kind of like pursue that and see where it leads you. Like you have a hard time perhaps doing that. King of Wands, this is lovely. You're very charismatic. You draw people in. I think Earth, you know, angel or light worker is really adept here because you're someone who always like has good relationships with people, or people really like are drawn to you. You can speak well with people, you relate to people really well, they want to be around you, they you know, your energy is really easy to be around, you motivate them, you are kind of almost like an example to how to better yourself, how to feel like someone who works in their purpose, right, who knows how to get things done. You could be a fire sign. You could be a Leo, Sagittarius, or an Aries. And you know what that feels like? It feels like if that is where you are, or that's where your self node is, it's almost pulling you towards, okay, how do I go from doing the work by myself as someone who's able to, you're absolutely capable of getting work done by yourself. How do I go from that south node to a north node that is more collaborative? How do I work well with others? It doesn't always have to be my way. I don't always have to be the leader. I can be part of the group. I can be part of a um, consensus, right? It's like changing that table from having a head of the table where you lead and you know choose the direction and you choose and set the pace, to a round table where everyone's voice is heard and we're working, collaborating together to find the solutions. And so I feel like that might be part of your life purpose or life plan in this, you know, in this earth, where you are moving from kind of like that individual passion and motivating others to more collaborative work. Six of Swords, because you feel very stuck. You feel stuck where you are. And you're not sure how to move forward, but I think you're stuck because it's like you think you need to row this boat by yourself, right? you feel like you're completely on your own. But I think the message here is like, no, you can have collaborative groups coming together, people like-minded, people who have the same visions as you, but perhaps different skills and different talents than you. And you all rowed a boat in the same direction. See how that moves you forward. So trusting to grow your circle. Because I think you feel your work is so important, so you have to be in control of it. But you can let go, you can delegate, you can collaborate. Page of Pentacles and Ace of Cups. Yeah, because there's innate skills and gifts and talents that you have. Like I said, the South Node that you brought into this life, but they're being wasted because you're kind of, okay, so if it relates, right? It's like, take it if it resonates, but maybe you're a little stubborn. You want things done a certain way. You don't collaborate well. And it's just like, it's like at your own detriment because let's say if the project could have moved so much faster if you had just collaborated, shared your skills, shared your knowledge with other people, and you could have all worked together, you would be a year ahead right now, but you're not because you are trying to do it your own way and you don't perhaps take advice very well or collaborate very well, and then that makes you miss opportunities. Ace of Cups. So this feels like partnership, collaboration, friendships, right? And it really feels like it's in line with your work. This doesn't feel like a personal relationship or a romantic relationship. This really feels like something that has to do with this work that you're trying to do in this life, to learn to expand your circle, collaborate, jump on those opportunities for partnership. See how that moves you along. See how that moves the project along, right? Gives you like the ability to get more done, be more productive and efficient because you're not just trying to do it all by yourself. Put you one final message. We've got mending in the reverse. Let's read that one from the book. It'll be the protection message. Oh, wow, I think 52 is actually the last card too. That's interesting. So the essential meaning of 52 is forgiveness, making amends, and healing after arguments. But the protection message is heartbreak is a strange healer of souls. Our grief strips away our masks and loosens our tight hold on our separateness, where we view ourselves as I and the world as it. Loss allows us to see ourselves as part of a larger scheme, opening us up to sympathy, empathy, and dependence on others in the moment when we can't hold ourselves together, and it leads us to become one with the greater whole again. Pain and suffering is part of life, and none of us will be immune to it. Can you view this loss, this pain, this dissonance as a way back to source? Let your sorrow break your heart wide open. You will never be left behind. You are loved, now more than ever, by Spirit, who does not want you to feel alone. One day you will look back and know this is truth. Okay, beautiful. Wow. I mean, that completely agrees with this need, this hyper independence, like understanding that you are part of a whole, that you are loved, that, others can step in for you, can support you, can be there for you. You don't have to do it all alone. And it doesn't necessarily mean that heartbreak is the precipice of this realization. I feel like because you're so spiritually mature, this feels like, like it'll make sense as you're hearing these words that perhaps you do try to do it all on your own and not depend on anyone else. And maybe there is something there about having to heal that hyper independence or that need to do things independently at all times in order to feel like you're in control of the situation. Because this acceptance, I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change. You know, it's part of that growth and that healing to understand that human beings, the way this life is, we're all interconnected, we're all interdependent. Can't control every single moment, every single facet of life. And it's easier if we do it with a group of people who are looking out for us, just the way we're looking out for them. I hope that was helpful. I'll see you on my next one.